Once a government is committed to the principle of silencing the voice of opposition, it has only one way to go, and that is down the path of increasingly repressive measures until it becomes a source of terror to all its citizens and creates a country where everyone lives in fear. A man who is influenced by the polls or is afraid to make decisions which make him unpopular is not a man to represent the welfare of the country. A pessimist is one who makes difficulties of his opportunities, and an optimist is one who makes opportunities of his difficulties. A president needs political understanding to run the government, but he may be elected without it. A society will be judged by how it treats its weakest members. Always be sincere, even if you don't mean it. America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination, and an unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. An honest public servant can't become rich in politics. He can only attain greatness and satisfaction by service. Democrats work to help people who need help. That other party, they work for people who don't need help. That's all there is to it. Everybody has the right to express what he thinks. That, of course, lets the crackpots in. But if you cannot tell a crackpot when you see one, then you ought to be taken in. For some time, I have been disturbed by the way the CIA has been diverted from its original assignment. It has become an operational and at times a policy-making arm of the government. Give me a one-handed economist. All my economists say, on the one hand, on the other. I have little patience with people who take the Bill of Rights for granted. The Bill of Rights, contained in the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. I never did give anybody hell. I just told the truth, and they thought it was hell. I never would have agreed to the formulation of the Central Intelligence Agency back in '47 if I had known it would become the American Gestapo. I remember when I first came to Washington. For the first 6 months, you wonder how the hell you ever got here. For the next 6 months, you wonder how the hell the rest of them ever got here. I sincerely regret the unfortunate choice of language which I used in my letter of August 29 to Congressman McDonough concerning the Marine Corps. I wonder how many times you have to be hit on the head before you find out who's hitting you. It's about time that the people of America realized what the Republicans have been doing to them. If we do not abolish war on this earth, then surely one day war will abolish us from the earth. If you can't convince them, confuse them. If you don't have your own goals, you'll be doomed to work towards someone else's. If you want a friend in Washington, buy a dog. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every time. Imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. It doesn't matter how big a ranch you own or how many cows you brand. The size of your funeral is still going to depend on the weather. It is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. My choice early in life was either to be a piano player in a whorehouse or a politician. To tell the truth, there's hardly a difference. Of course, I believe in free enterprise, but in my system of free enterprise, the democratic principle is that there never was, never has been, never will be room for the ruthless exploitation of the many for the benefit of the few. Of course, there are dangers in religious freedom and freedom of opinion, but to deny these rights is worse than dangerous. It is absolutely fatal to liberty. The external threat to liberty should not drive us into suppressing liberty at home. Those who want the government to regulate matters of the mind and spirit are like men who are so afraid of being murdered that they commit suicide to avoid assassination. Religious and racial persecution is moronic at all times, perhaps the most idiotic of human stupidities. Secrecy and a free democratic government don't mix. Selfishness and greed, individual or national, cause most of our troubles. Someday we'll awake, have a reformation of the heart, teach our kids honor, and kill a few sex psychologists, put boys in high schools with men teachers, not sissies, close all the girls finishing schools, shoot all the efficiency experts, and become a nation of God's people once more. Tact is the ability to step on a man's toes without messing up the shine on his shoes. Term limits would cure both senility and seniority, both terrible legislative diseases. The fundamental basis of this nation's laws was given to Moses on the Mount. If we don't have a proper fundamental moral background, we will finally end up with a totalitarian government which does not believe in rights for anybody except the state. The only thing new in the world is the history you don't know. The Republicans believe in the minimum wage. The more the minimum, the better. There are always a lot of people so afraid of rocking the boat that they stop rowing. We can never get ahead that way. There is no more fundamental axiom of American freedom than the familiar statement, "In a free country, we punish men for the crimes they commit, but never for the opinions they have." There is some risk involved in action. There always is. But there is far more risk in failure to act. Those who want the government to regulate matters of the mind and spirit are like men who are so afraid of being murdered that they commit suicide to avoid assassination. To be able to lead others, a man must be willing to go forward alone. When even one American who has done nothing wrong is forced by fear to shut his mind and close his mouth, then all Americans are in peril. When the liberals said they were going to create 1 million new jobs, I didn't think they were all going to be tax collectors. If you can't convince them, confuse them.